Welcome back to CCRPG. We are picking back up right as our pilots have split up amongst the site of 70.106 yet again. Evelene, who was trapped in the factory trying to find a way out from its most secure section, and got tackled by something at the end. And then our friend Astro was able to find a way to trick the site into letting him inside, despite it ruining his stealth hardsuit. We watched also as the group met Diltep Knoll, who is a self-reported agent here on behalf of Ethic, who has met up with the crew and is following Dyne and Steve as they head back to the admin building, because he has warned them that very soon the various guards and laborers on site should be going back to their normal schedule soon, and soon they will be swimming in people. As we pick back up this session, I want to start with the group headed towards the admin station.
Drag out that cliffhanger a little bit longer.
I mean, we'll get there.
Evelene died.
Everyone's dead.
It's true. I'm dead.
Don't give the milk away for free, you know?
God damn it.
My bad.
I wanted to be the one to announce that.
But yeah, so Dyne and Steve, you have arrived at the admin station with Diltep. You were able to get in pretty easily. You have, everything you had last time to actually get into the building. And Steve, you have been here once already, so you know how to get to that one control room you got to. But you and Astro hadn't had time to actually explore the whole building the last time you were here. So what do the three of you do?
I would suggest heading to the control room.
Okay.
I agree.
You head back to the control room that you and Astro had used before. You see the station that he was able to use in order to do the check-in. And yeah, I mean, what are you trying to do here? What's your goal?
And did you get my message?
I assume I did, but there's not much I can really do with it. You just said you were going in after Evelene, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A very out of breath, panicked Astro was very quickly was like, I'm going to the factory.
Yeah.
Crunch.
Crunch.
I'm going to go in and start messing with computers, seeing if I can find anything on them or any data or anything that I missed when I was here before. Just kind of trying to find something useful, ready for someone else to come in. And basically anyone that comes into this room is probably going to get shot. That isn't us.
Dyne, what are you doing at this time?
I'm going to follow Steve and kind of, because I haven't been in this place before, I don't think, right? Because I went straight to the factory.
No, you haven't.
So I probably get the lay of the place, take a look around, look for, figure out, get the lay of the land, essentially.
All right, so you're going to be moving around the building.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do the two of you want Diltep to do? He is ready to take orders.
I'd say just help me out. See if he can help me find anything or just keep the control room busy.
Okay, so you want him in here in the control room with you, trying to see what he can find on the computers.
Unless you have something you want, Dyne. I won't
that
stop
sounds
you
like a
if
good
you ask
idea.
me. Okay.
All right, so we have two different things happening. Having Diltep assist you with something gives you accuracy to your roll. So that means whatever you are attempting to do, Steve, you will have accuracy on.
Cool. All right.
So who wants to go first?
I will. That's fine. I'm just going to try to roll and investigate to try to find things here.
Yeah, okay. You have a little bit more info to work with and a little bit more time to work with where an alarm isn't blaring in your ears. So yeah, let's see what new you find here.
All right, accuracy 18.
All right. Yeah, with an 18. And with Diltep helping out, because he's able to like check things on other screens while you're doing things. So you can have him like monitor a thing while you check something and stuff like that. You will find out that you will find employee logs, but they don't look like you expected them to. The employee logs, like for the admins and the security staff who would use this admin building, now that you've seen it in person, look very similar to the logs you were able to find on the prisoners in the security station.
Okay.
As you are kind of going through it, you find that the security staff and admin have all the same readings logged into these systems that you saw logged in the laborers as they would enter the factory. So you're able to pull up things like Kiwi Strawberry, who is one of the guards who would use this area. You go back for the past couple of logs, and you see some of the things that Astro was seeing for the prisoners that were going into the factory. Things like various readings, and even there you see like there are some annotated readings that are things like they say things along the lines of, "It looks like the conditioning took well. Reassign this person to security."
Okay. I don't really know what to do with that, I guess.
That's what you find in this room.
Yeah.
Dyne, what are you looking around the building for?
So Steve is just kind of like looking through the logs and everything. I'm gonna look around and is this just purely an administrative building, or does it seem like there's more here? Like, I want to say living quarters, but does it seem like the like security actually stays here frequently? I guess
It does not seem that way. This is a work building, not a boarding building of any sort.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to look around and see if I can spot any other frequently used rooms, like that have signs of frequent traffic, and see what I can find.
Okay. You're able to find a room. It's not like too out of the way here. It's just, you can tell by the way the layout is set up. There are multiple entrances to this room, and there are large stations in this room that almost look like they're you would call this like a map room or something like that, right? There's a big central console that's like a big rectangle that has like what is recognizable for you, having seen this place from orbit, as like, oh, here's where we are and the surrounding terrain. But it is kind of a it's not like a road map or anything like it's more like a terrain map. What are those called? You know, like
topographical.
It's a topographical map of the area, and you recognize the layout because you're like, oh, there's the mountains on that side of the town. There's the mountains on that side of the town. Here's where we came up. This is what is the map of the surrounding area, not including the city. And you look at that, and there are these red blinking lights you can see on different parts of the map. That are located kind of in areas surrounding the area you know to be the city.
Okay. Does any of the red blinking lights correspond to either where we entered or the factory that we just visited?
Doing a cursory double check to try and like put, add 2 and 2, they don't line up.
Okay. I would like to try and just investigate to see if I can figure out what these lights mean, as well as to get a greater understanding of the map and the surrounding area, because this is not something we've had before.
Yeah, absolutely. It will be interacting with this console in some way, so it can be technological in some way, or it can be just a straight investigate. If you don't have something to help you with accessing like the controls of this thing, you will be rolling with difficulty.
I mean, it's not a weapon system or a reactor, is it?
No, unfortunately, it's not.
Okay, then I
so
have to
you can roll
investigate.
your investigate, but it will be with difficulty.
That's fine. A 12.
A 12 is still a success. So despite having difficulty getting the console to do what you want, you're able to just put the effort into trying everything you can and being very methodical about it. You get the map to change perspective, and it becomes almost isometric where you can actually see the map's depth as well.
Okay.
So it's not just a top-down view anymore. It's almost like a side view. These red blinking lights are all underground.
Okay.
You are able to identify these different sites as the thing this room is actively monitoring. So now that you've pinpointed like, oh, these are things underground, you start looking around at the other equipment in the room. And with that successful check, you're like, all of these are like, you see like a seismograph in the room. You see like a deep ground like well scanner that you've seen like mining companies employ. Or like when you were part of the Farfield team, if they would like drill a hole in the ground and then shoot a probe down in the ground, you see things like coming up on a monitor onto the side that those would monitor, like ground temperature levels, water levels, and things like that. So the other consoles in this room all seem set up to monitor things under the ground.
I feel like I've walked into a room where Evelene should be.
That does sound like up my alley.
Evelene appears out of nowhere. Let me take a look.
I got this.
Interesting. I'm gonna radio over to Steve and be like, I found a topological map. It looks like they're monitoring something underground.
Okay. Can you see any entrances? Ways to get down there?
Do I see any?
That's not something that would be in this room now.
Not from the map. The map just tells me what they're monitoring, where it is, not necessarily the entrance and exits.
What are they monitoring?
Well, they've got seismographs. They've got a whole bunch of devices that looks like they're measuring something or monitoring something underground. I can't tell what it is from here.
Do I have reason to... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Do I have reason to believe that this would be related to terraforming, or does it seem a little odd to be doing like seismograph, stuff for that?
If you stretch, you could see how they would be related, but you actively know that this area isn't actively being... Like, this is an area that was deemed by the surveys done for the terraforming project, the quote-unquote, like, the mask terraforming project that's on top of this, as an area not to be explored further for now. Like, it was put on the back burner, this area. So it would be surprising to you that they would put any effort into any terraforming systems here, since they specifically don't want people looking at this sector.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I'll say thanks, Dyne. I'll keep looking on this end. Let me know if you find something else. And then I'm going to use that now. I have all these logs of people, right?
Yeah, that's
Can I
right.
search through them for any kind of talks of like underground or, cave-in or something like that, right? To see if I can find something about them talking about how to get down there or what's down there or anything?
Funnily enough, based on all of the... So here's the fun thing. Because you've spent a fair amount of time working with the system, you can tell that you basically have the entire list of what we will call the quote-unquote like security staff and admin staff of this base. I.e., everyone who is on the security staff or admin staff of this base is accounted for in the system you're examining right now. And none of that on an initial scan mentions anything about going underground or a facility underground or being assigned underground or doing security underground. Like, none of that is indicated here.
Okay, I don't really have anything else at the moment, so.
Diltep kind of looks at you after like looking through his logs as well, because I assume he was helping you with that as well. And he goes,
I'm telling him, yeah, for sure.
He goes, nah, I mean, none of these people were going to the ground unless they had a funny name for it. But I mean, I'll tell you, when we landed here, they didn't say anything was underground, but I doubt they would tell us. And I mean, all the little drones we watch going around upstairs seem to go in and out of factories and residential buildings.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that we're not finding anything necessarily because of these segmentation tethers. I'm sure information about it, if any, would be at the source or where they have it. It's just odd that they have equipment monitoring up here and still have nothing mentioning it.
Who's all this data for? Right? Like, if all of them are tethered to, or whatever it's called, right? Like, who's doing all this medical examining?
You think they're here too?
He shrugs at you. He goes, well, you know, all the data we have on here are med logs, it looks like, from the people you said have these weird implants. But who's looking at this? Who's this for?
I mean, I could assume Lev integrated. It could be information of testing their implants, trying to get feedback from it. But
sure, I guess, but like
to you, Bob, does it seem like excessive amount of data or something? Or
it is like noted and annotated data, like this is an active, ongoing project. So like someone will have noted specifically, this person requires more conditioning. This person, the conditioning didn't work well for him. Reassign him to the breaths because he acted up. This person, the conditioning took really well to. Assign him to the security staff, right? Like, who's looking at this stuff and making those decisions?
Okay. I mean, I wonder if it's just as simple as that. They're planning on putting out some sort of tech or something to turn everyone that has it into some sort of drone or slave or something. Because if they can sneak this tech out to the public, and if they have good control and data over it, couldn't they just flip a switch, have control over people then?
I guess so. I mean, getting a lot of people down here who can survive in conditions that usually would require a lot of equipment to get through. I mean, I don't know how all this stuff works. I'm not a tech head, but
you deliver ammunition, which doesn't match up with what we're talking about either.
Yeah, I mean, but if this is a test bed for how something works, sure. I mean, I guess they'd want the data from that, but I wonder who's making the day-to-day decisions. Who's the person who walks up to one of these guys and says, hey, you know, you're on security now, or pre-programs them or whatever, you know?
I figured they were just people that were, as this push is put here, took well to conditioning, and they're just controlling them some way.
Could be.
Let's try to find something to see if there's someone on site here about that, but I assume they're doing it remotely or underground. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll look at whatever you want me to look at. Yeah. So, what do you want him to help with?
Trying to find some sort of information from what we have there to see if there is anyone giving orders or I want to say processing the data, whether that means like sending it somewhere or, going through it and making decisions on that kind of thing.
Oh, sure.
It's kind of vague, but that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. You go through and you're able to note on there that a lot of this data is kind of what Astro noted at the security station. This is like recent data that's still in like, the most recent files buffer. All of this stuff is getting transmitted somewhere else as well. But remember, nothing's getting transmitted off of this site, right? Like, this is kind of a self-contained site because they don't want people to detect it.
Yeah.
So you kind of like look through to see where it's going. Because you're in the admin building, you get a little bit more data than Astro got. Astro found out it was being transmitted to the admin building. You go, oh, this is going to a different room within this building somewhere.
Okay. Does it show me where that is?
It does give a bit of info. It says it's in B1.
Okay. I'll just say, I think I might got it. B1. Dyne, do you see any kind of lettering, numbering, or systems to any of the rooms? I'm looking for B1.
Well, considering I had walked around, would I be able to infer something like that?
On the walls, you have seen 1.
Okay. On the walls, I saw 1. If I went to like the end of the hall, maybe looking for a staircase, would I maybe see letters or something?
You get to a stairwell. It does seem to spiral up into the building. This is like a little 3-floor building.
Yeah.
It's much smaller than the large high rises that are like the big tenement buildings. This goes up like 3 floors. In the stairwell, you see a 1 outside on the walls where you are. And you see a little arrow pointing up the stairs with a little 2 on it.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna try and make a spot roll to see if I can try and make a quick discerning to give myself a better chance, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
Because he's looking for B1. I want to see if there's any form of lettering to indicate something other than just 1 on this floor, which I assume 1 is the floor number. Maybe it's a room number or something else, essentially.
Okay.
No accuracy, no difficulty, so we'll see. I rolled an 11.
With an 11, that's success. You wander around the halls a little bit and you're like, okay, 1. Okay, I see. Huh. Okay. You go back to the stairwell and you realize that what the stairwell is built up on is false wall. You feel around and you find a seam on the wall that goes into the staircase. You don't know how it opens, but you get up to it and etched in to the wall, it says B1 on the wall next to where this etched opening is.
Okay. When I find this, I'll contact Steve.
Yeah, I'll just wave our new friend over and say, we'll be right there.
Diltep heads out. So the 3 of you gather in front of this little etched. It looks like a door that someone hid, but didn't hide enough that people living here wouldn't know it exists, right? It's just not noticeable. It's out of sight, out of mind almost. But you do see etched in it is B1 next to it. It is kind of like a false wall. There is a slit going through it, but none of you are sure, just on first impression, how this opens.
Well, time to turn on my Witcher senses. Oh no, wait. I guess in that case, kind of look around, feel around the walls, see if there's any like switch on the wall, some sort of indentation to indicate something along those lines.
All right. You feel around the edges and you are able to find the shape of a door, essentially. As you feel around the outside of it, it does appear that there's a little panel next to the wall that you press in on and it spins. It's like a little, like one of those fake bookcases in a mansion, right?
Yeah.
It spins around, and once it makes a full rotation, there's a keypad inside.
Cool.
Are we there?
Yes, yeah. You, Dilltap, and him are all standing in front of this little etched door.
Okay. I am going to hand a pistol to Dilltap.
Oh, I'm good. I got one.
All right.
He reaches into one of his giant baggy pockets and pulls out a silenced machine pistol.
Okay. Then we can count on you if something happens.
I can watch your back. You guys going down alone?
Well, we don't know yet. We got to open this door first.
All right, I'll watch the hallways.
All right.
So
Dyne,
he takes his weapon. You see him make sure everything's attached. He lines it up, looks down the barrel, makes sure the safety is off, and then he walks out into the hallways to patrol.
Dyne, I'm a married man. My wife compliments me. She handles the things that I'm not so good with. And those things tend to be technology. So, unless you want something brute force here, it's kind of on you to open this up.
I walk over to the keypad and see what's there.
It is a keypad. It has the numbers 1 through 9 and 0 on it, and a star.
Just use your subjectivity enhancement so I don't know what the problem is.
Even you don't have one of those.
Yeah, I know. Even I can't say that.
Not anymore.
Let me jack in here, okay? I go, well, I'm not Astro, and I could sit here putting in however many combinations.
One other thing you note, there are 4 lines on the 4 horizontal lines on the screen of the keypad.
4 horizontal lines.
Yep.
Okay, so it's a 4-digit password. Likely. Okay. I go, well, unless you guys came across some sort of password in that other room. Or number.
I'm guessing nothing stood out to me as a 4-digit anything.
You guys have seen so many numbers since you've been here.
I'm trying to think of anything that could overlap here.
This area was 7106 or something?
70.106 is the site that you're at. That is the terraforming designation this sector has been given.
Well, that's unfortunate. That's not it. Likely.
A little on the nose too, isn't it?
No one ever said that passwords and their creators were very creative.
That's true.
That's very true.
If we had any idea who used this, we could look into information about them to try to find something, but...
Yeah.
God, where's Astro when you need him? I assume I would have attempted to contact him and it didn't go through.
Yeah, you just don't get a response from Astro. Yeah.
I almost want to try that password that was used in one of Astro's movies. 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, no, probably not the answer.
Very secure.
Okay.
Very secure.
Usually you find passcodes on Post-it notes on computer monitors, so you just need to look around. If adventure games have taught me anything.
Sometimes you need to open a drawer.
I'm going to try something. Are we far from outside?
You're at the back of the building. The front door is on the other side of the building from here.
Is there a kitchen or mess in here at all?
Let me think. Yes, absolutely. And it would be on the first floor.
Okay. I will say to Dyne, I'll be right back and head into it.
Okay.
Find it.
Yeah, you head in there. It's not like a full like cafeteria. It's kind of like a little cafe area. There's like fridges on the wall. There's a couple little self-serve like stations where you can get like plastic utensils and bowls and napkins and stuff. And there's a couple little standing tables and a place where you can get like cereal out of a cupboard and stuff like that.
Is there a back area with ingredients? So just to give you a heads up of what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to find flour. And I want to put flour on the keypad to hopefully see if there's any oils from people touching it.
Fingerprints.
Yeah. So we might at least narrow it down to 4.
Interesting.
There is flour.
Okay. Well, that is what I'm attempting to do. So I'm going to bring flour back over to Dyne and carefully try to dust the keypad with it.
Okay. I would say because you're a spy, this works.
Okay.
You know how to do this in a subtle way to not overcake whatever oils might be on there, because otherwise all the keys will look the same. You're trying to get it so that like only the keys that have the oils on it are the ones that really grasp it. And the numbers, the 0, it sticks to. The 7, it sticks to. The 5, it sticks to. And the 3, it sticks to.
7035.
So 3, 5, 7, and 0.
I mean, there's only, 16 possible combinations? No, that's not right.
I'm a little worried about entering too many wrong, but 7, 3, 5, 5. Screw it, I'll try it. 7530.
7530. You watch as the horizontal lines become the numbers as you press them. 7530 gets entered. You see it blink 3 times with those numbers on there and then blanks out to the 4 horizontal lines again.
0357.
Same thing happens.
Okay.
Second attempt.
Try 7530. Wait, did you show one?
Who said that?
I'm just thinking. I'm thinking about the song 75309, and I'm like that you can get that out of there.
I don't think that's the song.
Before your third try,
it's Jenny, but yeah.
Who was present when Astro was reading out the things he was finding on the Wait, it was Evelene, and so it would be Dyne who was there when you plugged what's his name in, right?
Oh yeah.
When you guys plugged what's his name into the security station, Dyne was there and was talking to Astro over that thing as they were examining his information. Dyne, and then I forget, Steve, were you there at any point where you were looking over specifically his info?
I'm trying to remember if I was there. I think I was.
Because you guys pulled it up a second time when Astro showed up. I don't know if you would have been paying close enough attention to what Astro was looking at or not. I know for a fact Dyne saw these records. I don't know if you saw these records. Make a call on it because we didn't call it out in person. So you tell me whether or not that's something Steve would have cared enough about to pay attention to.
Was this at the factory?
This was at the factory entrance.
I mean, I would have been watching. I don't know how much I would have committed, but I would have been looking at it. I would have probably had not much else to do.
Okay. One of you can roll with accuracy since both of you saw this at one point.
I'm scared, so I'll let you do it.
This is a remembrance. This is a remembering something check. Something you saw once.
Would stay cool because this would require concentration. If I'm trying to remember something.
I'll let it happen for this one.
Okay.
So stay cool plus accuracy, because you're kind of like bouncing ideas back and forth with Steve, and maybe that jogs your memory here.
What a benevolent DM.
15.
On a 15, you remember, oh yeah, there was a number that had these 4 numbers in it. It was when we were reading over behavioral modification. It said behavioral modification took place at 3507.
I will try 3507.
As you plug in 3507, the numbers stay lit, and you hear a click noise as the gap that holds the door closed, like, releases. It doesn't, like, open for you. It's more like a lock undid itself, and the door swings open slightly so that you can open it the rest of the way.
Cool. Well, good thing we remembered. Time to see what's back here.
How did you... What? I'll just
A
shake my
magician
head.
never reveals his secrets.
I look at him and I go, like I said, people tend to not be very smart with their passwords.
That is correct. As you open the door fully, you realize this is a stairwell going in the opposite direction under the other stairwell. This goes down.
Oh, sure.
When you open the door, it's a stairwell that's going down underneath the other stairwell. And on the wall, the same as you saw in the stairwell out before, instead of having an arrow pointing up the staircase that says 2, it has an arrow pointing down the staircase that says B1 next to it.
Oh, well, I guess we found B1.
Yeah, let's hurry and check it out before we get in trouble.
I look at
Yeah,
Steve
yeah.
and I do a visible facepalm.
I assume our Diltap is gonna stay back and watch our back, he said?
Yeah, he's patrolling around, so he'll see that you guys got the door open. He's like, you want me to keep eyes up here?
Yeah, it's probably best, I think. If we don't come out before...
Should I close the door behind you, or you want it open?
3507, was it, Dyne?
3057.
No, it was 3507.
3507. Okay. I mean, I've already forgotten the number, obviously.
Steve's got a steel trap. Yeah, I'll just say the combination to him and say, like, yeah, I don't... If you need to come in or leave, that's what you got. You're on your own for now. If I don't imagine we're going to be able to communicate down here, maybe. But if we can't, then let Astro... know that we got down here.
All right. If I can't communicate with you guys down there, I'll give you two situations that could occur, and you tell me what to do in that situation. Okay. So, say some security guards are going back on their routines, and they come in to the admin building. What do you want me to do?
I have a distinct opinion that you have your own judgment on that, and I'm just going to let you follow it because.
Okay, but what if there's too many of them to kill?
Get out of there.
Okay, but that's my second question then. When you say get out of there, and he does air quotes when he does this, do you mean escape this building or escape down the staircase to come find you?
I don't know. I guess you could do whichever you'd like.
All right, I'll make a judgment call, boss.
Yeah.
Good luck.
You too.
All right. You guys head down the staircase to B1. The mysterious B1. What could it possibly mean? Like basement.
Yeah.
Bottom.
B1 of
How
us.
about that?
Yeah. Let's pop over to Astro now.
Yay!
Man.
Astro, you've made it into the factory.
Yes.
You get heavy static as soon as you get inside.
Right.
You're not able to reach out to Evelene even though you're inside the building.
Yes.
What do you
So
do?
I have the heat map, right?
If you got a copy of it, yes. I don't know if you just gave that info to Evelene or if you kept it.
I think
Wait.
like.
Actually, you came there after. They pulled the heat map before you ever got there, and then Evelene went in with that information. I don't know if we ever said you pulled up the heat map. Be honest, is that something Astro would have pulled from that system? Because the heat map for each prisoner is different. I don't know whose you would have taken.
Okay, I don't know if he would have if they did it before, but for some reason I thought Astro was the one that got the heat map. Am I
the heat map
misremembering
is
that wrong?
something they got when they plugged him in to the system.
They being
Dyne and Evelene. When
before I
Evelene got
there.
trapped in the factory the first time, before you guys ever got there, they plugged. Why can't I keep his name in my head?
Zippo.
Zippo,
Like the lighter.
Yeah.
When they plugged Zippo in, it specifically pulled up all of Zippo's information. And they saw a heat map of everywhere Zippo had been. And they're like, this is useful. Maybe we could use it to walk Zippo back through his paces to see what he was doing all day. So they pulled that onto their own devices. I think Evelene just took a picture of it or something. And that's what she went into the building with.
Okay.
You guys came later and were pulling up other information, so I don't know.
So I didn't do that. But for some reason, I thought that was me.
I think the only explanation he could give would be he pulls up the data for the person that he impersonated, because he would have had to pull that information up, right?
Yeah, you could have.
That's
I just want to know.
I don't know. I don't know if I would say if Astro wasn't the one that pulled it up originally, I don't think he probably would have.
That makes
have
sense.
the heat map on him.
Okay.
That's my honest assessment.
Okay.
Well, what he's gonna do is start looking around. I think he wants to figure out if he can access a layout of the building.
Okay. I will describe what you see as you first walk in, Matt.
Yeah.
This is a gigantic building. There are catwalks that go up over machines, down under machines, go into rooms that have like little glass ports that look down onto like conveyor belts, almost like monitoring station, or QA stations where product is going through these rooms and stuff like that. There's even without workers here, there are automated systems still happening, but you don't know for what purpose yet. That's not something you've discerned from this yet. Right. But you see all these machines making raw material or refining material that's being pulled in from like giant repositories, like big almost like shipping crates that have raw material. You know, it's one of those things where you see the end of like a conveyor belt that has like one of those little like flipper ends or scoop ends on, and it like goes down into the material and is flipping it up onto conveyor belts and stuff like that. And then you watch that snake throughout the facility.
Okay, so there's currently production or refinement happening.
Yeah. It looks like there's an amount of things that can happen here, even without direct supervision.
Right. So I think his first thought would be, let's follow the conveyor belts a little bit and look for places where a human operator might be needed along this assembly line.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because Astro is working under the assumption that Evelene is probably still with Zippo and going to Zippo's working station. So he wants to find where those working stations might be.
Yeah, you would have no way to know that they had been separated. Right. So you walk along and you are able to find, like I said, like almost like a QA station, like a long building that is built along, like this is a gigantic factory, right? Like you could probably park the DBC in here.
Okay. In addition, he's just gonna be like, when he's in this big like open room area in the factory, he's just gonna call out, "Hello, Evelene, Zippo."
And because of the machines that are still buzzing and working, it's not that quiet in here.
Yeah.
You hear nothing respond back to you that would make it to you over the sound of these machines.
Yeah, too much din for my voice to carry.
You work your way along one of them, and you find, like I just talked about, like a large, almost like building, something that we would think of the size of like a mobile house almost, built around one of the conveyor belts. And as you kind of walk into it, you see that there's all these bays where it's specifically meant for, people pulling product off of the assembly line and kind of like taking it off to the side to like run tests on it. It's like a little station it seems like to you, a person that's not specifically in this field, like, oh, this must be where they test the raw material to see if it's meeting their purity standards, to make sure that the raw material they're adding isn't like getting too trashed here.
Okay. I guess it's not clear just by looking at it what kind of material this is.
This is ore of some sort.
Some sort of ore. Yeah.
Yes, you're seeing like rocks with shiny something in them. Basically, like, have you ever seen like a conveyor belt that is just like a long string of what almost looks like rocks and pebbles on it?
Yeah.
That is what's going past you.
Right. So stuff that's getting like mined out is just dropping into this conveyor belt.
Mm-hmm.
Can I access any QA reports in here? Like,
you find a station and you're able to like start looking through like, what is this station for? What does it do? It is not locked out in any way. It's completely open. There's no security on this, but it only does one thing, and that is it tests the purity. It has access to a couple of different procedures you can do, and you can tell as you open them is like, these are different procedures you can run through on these the things coming in here to determine if they're within a certain acceptable range.
I want to try it out. So like, I'll take some of the material coming through and I'll try to run like one of these procedures.
Okay. There's equipment here for you. Like on the little station you're working at, there's like a little shovel, almost like the shovel you would use to pull like dog food out of a big canister, right? It's like that kind of thing. It's like, and you kind of like hold it over the thing that's going past, and you just allow it to scoop a bunch of the gravelly stuff into the little scoop you have. And there's like a little work area on the station where you're able to like drop that stuff on like a little, there's like a little sheet you can pull out over it that you tear off so that like it doesn't, because it's kind of like still rock. There's still like dust and stuff coming off this stuff, right? So like you can keep the work area clean. You pull like a new little, like a chair at the doctor's office, you like pull a new little sheet on it and you tear it off, or like way paper or something like that.
Right. Sure.
You shovel your stuff on top of it and you press a button on the screen. It pulls up and it just gives you all the steps you need to go through the process as if you're an idiot.
Right.
And not an idiot, just like a person who doesn't know what they're doing could run this test with these instructions, because it's all pictographic with some words. So it's like there's little arrows at the bottom of the screen. So you'd be like, oh, I did that, hit arrow for next step kind of thing. So it's like, it shows you take this dropper off the stand and drop it over top of the substance. And then when you're done with that, you hit the arrow. And it's like, okay, now that you've done that, hold this little exhaust fan over top of the substance. And like it sucks up the fumes that are coming up from it and stuff like that. And like, you just have to do the manual steps and it's telling you everything you need to do.
Yeah.
When you get to the end of the process, it is measuring some sort of reactive level. And you see two ends of this long range. You don't know what the fuck this bar means. And in fact, it's abstracted slightly. So it's not telling you what everything on this bar means, just what you as the operator need to know. And you see there's a smaller green bar at the center of that long bar. And the edges of the bar are red. So you probably want it to be within the green segment. And then the very center of the green segment, there's a tiny little strip that's a blue segment. You watch as the thing calculates, and the little arrow, it's almost like you know those those machines that you dump a bunch of coins into and it counts the coins? It's almost like you're hearing that kind of stuff happen in the machine as it sucks up this gas. It's like tabulating something. It's like ching, ching, ching. And you see that little arrow bumping around within the green section. But by the time it's done measuring, it is landed solidly in the blue section at the very bullseye dead end of the graph.
Okay. So supposedly that probably means it meets whatever purity standards they have, like, right.
It actually, as a little readout at the bottom in blue lettering, says high quality.
And is there anything in this report that says what it is?
I will need a check from you because that will be pushing deeper into its systems.
I like the idea of us leaving, somebody seeing, like, the logs and being like, who did this? We need to hire them.
Yeah, he's doing good work.
Wow.
Best work we've seen all year.
I just forget why I'm here and I end up working the rest of the day. Let me think about this check.
While you're doing all this, Eveline's dying.
I don't know if I'm like hacking this per se.
You're
I'm
not.
just sort of
this
rooting
isn't a
around
hack.
to figure out.
This is computer operation.
Right. Yeah. Where's my
of a system that you're unfamiliar with, right? This is a field that you don't have any proficiency with. This is something actually Evelene would probably be better at.
Yeah, because she's probably worked similar interfaces in her.
With ore and everything.
Yeah. Let me see. Do I have anything I can use? I have investigate, but I feel like investigate means I'm going to take a long time to try to figure it out.
It is studying it in great detail, so it depends on how much that means to you.
Yeah. I don't want to get too carried away figuring this out. You know, I don't want to like spend the next 20 minutes or so, 15-20 minutes trying to figure it out. I'm just going to go ahead and roll a normal d20 and see what happens. 18.
Okay. This is it gives you a readout that you're unable to make perfect sense of, but you know enough about general things to kind of get it. This is some sort of alloy that is part steel. Okay. That's what it's trying to create.
Okay.
So you see a lot of things that are ferrous in here. There's a lot of iron going into this, but that does not seem to be the end of the subject.
Right. Okay.
What I will say is that you also get a little bit of like molybdenum, manganese, nickel, chromium, vanadium, silicon, boron, like a lot of things in there, but you don't know what that means.
Right. Okay. All right. With that, I will leave that station, and I'll continue following along this conveyor belt. Every now and then, I'm gonna call out for Evelene and or Zippo.
I'm so sorry. There is another thing in there that's not the chemicals I named.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, hold on.
More information.
It's Evelene. No, wait.
15% Evelene.
15%
Soylent
Evelene by
Green,
weight.
and it's made of people.
That's weird. It seems to be Evelyn, but it's also just reading as tuna.
Evelyn
I'm
is
always at least 5%
80% tuna. Yeah.
Okay. Here it is. It says it's Septiona.
Septiona.
I'll spell it for you. It's Septeona. I'm putting it in chat.
Okay. Very
Did I
interesting.
spell it right?
Septiona.
Yeah, Septeona. Septiona.
Guessing that's something I've never heard of.
No,
before.
but I mean, there's a lot of metals and materials you haven't heard of before. But at least all the other things that you read in that were familiar to you.
It's like, oh yeah, I know that's an element, you know.
Right. Yeah, you can read ingredients on the side of your crackers and be like, I recognize most of these. But one of those ingredients had like a crazy ass name you never heard of anymore. That's the same tingle you get when you read this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's enough that like I'll make a note of that. Septiona. And maybe see if anyone else knows what that is. Okay. If that's all, then yeah, he's gonna leave that station. And continue following along the conveyor belt. Every now and then calling out the names of Evelyn and Zippo as he makes his way through the factory.
All right. As you are kind of working your way through the factory, you are you listing or do you have a goal in mind?
I'm just following the conveyor belt. I'm trying to see, I'm trying to get an idea of like, if Zippo has some sort of workstation, like maybe it's on this floor, and maybe I can find where he's working. So I'm trying to see like where the spots are where like manual human intervention might be needed in between all the automated systems.
Yeah.
So I'm following the path of the conveyor belt or the assembly line or anything that sort of logically flows from one thing to another.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. You follow the path of the conveyor belt to kind of see downstream where this process leads to. Now let's switch over to Evelene. Hi, Evelene.
Hey, how's it
You've
going?
been thrown to the ground by incredible force.
Okay.
Take 2 pilot damage.
Oh, geez. I don't have much of that, do I?
You die.
Gosh, it's been a while since I actually looked at my actual health sheet. Okay, I'm down to 10. Okay.
That's fine.
All right. Evelene, you look back up, and what you see is not Zippo entirely. You do see Zippo, but around Zippo, kind of encasing him, attached to the spine that is sticking around the outside of his back, is like an exoskeleton. You've seen these before. They're like a factory exoskeleton that people use specifically so they can lift and move heavy objects. This is kind of like the loader from Alien.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Steve said to kill this guy earlier. Y'all laughed at him.
I didn't laugh at you. I wasn't
Well, you
even
didn't
there when you
kill him
decided
either.
that. Wait, are we talking about literal like exoskeleton like from Alien or just like a
It is like the loader. You can see him. He's exposed. It's not like he has armor around him.
Okay.
But he does have this big exoskeleton that's kind of like almost like a size half mech, right? It is like big. It's like he's at the center of it, but it has these giant mechanical arms that his own arms are in, right? That are like augmenting his strength. His legs are strapped into like these big metal arms. Yeah, see, you just posted a picture of exactly that almost is what you're fighting right now, Chuck.
It's a gift from Alien 1? That's from whatever.
No, that's Alien.
It's a 2?
No, it's Aliens.
Yeah, Aliens.
That's Alien 2, yeah.
Just add an S.
Aliens.
Is that true?
With an S.
Whatever. Ripley's in the
loader
suit.
Yeah. Anyway, it's something like that is basically it is a little bit more mobile than that. Think a little bit more futuristic-y than that, but that is the essence of it. That's the kind of thing it is.
It is kind of goofy looking if you really look at it.
I mean,
The spinning light at the top is.
It is kind of like this is kind of like a step away from being an actual mech, Evelene. Like this is like the kind of thing that maybe you would have even trained on before they fully upgraded into you to a full like mining mech.
Okay, yeah, that's actually useful to know. I might know some weaknesses then.
But you see that he is fully like locked into this thing. In fact, to the point where you can actually see the exospine on the back of his neck is sticking out of the back of the machine, almost like he's plugged into it. He turns on you as you like spin along the ground because this thing hit you with like superhuman force, right? It's like getting hit by a forklift, right?
Or a car. Yeah.
Yeah. And it spins on you. He holds his hands out to the side, and you see the little pincer arms on it kind of like close and open and then spin around as he charges towards you.
I'm going to dodge. Maybe duck behind a crate or something to give me...
All right, what do you think that is?
Stay cool.
You're in combat, buddy.
I know I am. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to still take stock of the situation, and right now I need to get some distance first. So this requires some amount of speed and dexterity to dodge this incoming attack. I think that I don't want to abuse stay cool, but I think this one counts.
This will count for stay cool. You just got surprised by a fucking exoskeleton that smacked you along the floor, and now you're trying to scramble up and get away from it. So
yep.
Roll me a stay cool.
15.
With that, you are able to dash around the side of it because you know it turns a little bit more slowly than you can run. Not that much more. It's not like you can get behind it super easily.
Sure.
But you know you can stay. It can't charge you while you're running around it, because he has to keep moving to keep up with where you are. He turns and you run into an area where like you can't keep running, but you are able to get behind something. You swiftly duck behind one of the larger crates in this area, but he takes his opportunity to charge the crate. The two giant pincers of the machine he's piloting stab into the crate on either side, and he starts pushing the crate with you on the other side of it. I'm going to need another pilot check. This one is a dangerous check.
Okay, yeah, I have questions, but I feel like the immediate danger needs to be addressed first.
Yeah, he's trying to crush you against the wall with the crate.
Dumb question. Is he just doing a strictly horizontal force?
He is pushing it forward. He has charged it and is continuing to run, pushing it in front of him.
Gotcha. Okay. God, it'd be really great if I had a grapple gun right now.
Everyone does their big shrug.
I'm going to stop saying it after this point.
Evelene just wants to be Batman.
Yeah.
Yes, but also, so I'm being sandwiched.
Trying to.
I mean, I want to get out. I'm just trying to figure, you know what?
I will say just stepping out of the way isn't an option because he's already started to push it, which means the crate is pushing you. You need to figure out how to get out of this situation.
I was thinking about climbing on top of the crate.
Okay.
So yeah, as I'm being pushed, I'm basically scrambling up the crate, and I could probably use the opposing wall as well to sort of help give me some leverage to push up.
If you need to use the opposing wall, that'll be a real last-second maneuver. So we'll see how well this works out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do this as painlessly as possible, so I'm climbing up the top of the crate. I don't have any modifiers other than stay cool, so I guess it's just D20.
All right, give me that D20. It's a dangerous check.
Yeah. Man, I wish I had more options available. And spot probably wouldn't help either if I had that. Whatever. Roll 20. 11. Probably gonna hurt.
Evelene, exactly what you said would happen is what happens on a 10 through 20. Which is you're able to start climbing up the crate, but you aren't able to crest the top of it until you're almost crushed against the wall, at which point you're able to kick off of the wall to kind of push yourself rolling on top of the crate. But enough force was impacted against you that you don't get crushed into the wall, but it does hurt your leg. You sprain your leg pretty badly. That's going to be another 2 pilot damage.
All right. I'll take that.
Have you tried saying "Daddy, chill"?
That's Plan B. Has Zippo reacted to the fact that I've climbed on top of the crate yet, or is this like literal split second?
You have initiative at this moment. He has just slammed us in. Oh, let me describe this. As he keeps running forward like a bull, right? And he slams this crate against the wall, crushing it slightly, even with you on top. You're able to keep your balance with that success, that partial success, even though you're a little hurt. As a horrifying crash echoes through the building, you actually see the wall behind you crack with the force of it a little bit. Astro, you hear an incredibly loud smash come from deeper towards where you're headed, towards the end of this conveyor belt, as this echoing crash echoes from in front of you.
I'll say, I'll call out, hello? Everyone okay?
Do I hear this?
And then back, no, not this far away. Evelene, back to you. What do you do?
So I've been meaning to ask this for a bit, and this seems like the best chance I have. What is Zippo's demeanor, facial expression, that sort of thing? Is it like blank? Is he like angry?
Here, right now, his face looks nothing like you've seen it up till this point. His face looks so utterly blank. It's like he's not even there. His eyes are blinking slowly, if at all, and they're just tracking you. It's not like he's acknowledging you or making faces. You can't even register if there is a feeling in there about the fact that he missed you with this attack. It is kind of just like his head is a camera that is locked onto you.
Okay. Then I don't feel bad about this next action because he's clearly not fully there. Evelene pulls out her sidearm, which is a light signature, and she takes a shot at his head, which should be exposed.
This will be a dangerous check.
Fair enough. I am going to invoke Stay Cool because I'm trying to make sure I aim correctly at him.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would think that because I'm on the crate, I am pretty close to him, so that might be to my advantage.
Close.
Yeah.
But you're also pretty close to danger, and this crate is half smashed against the wall, so it's not even footing. So I think those cancel out.
Fair enough. Just wanted to check. So
because you are balancing on a hurt leg.
Yeah, I don't want to call out any more details so you can realize I need difficulty. I'm going to roll. Stay cool, no modifiers. Roll.
Yeah, roll before he changes his mind.
God damn it, it's an 8. It's a 6.
Evelene, this is bad.
It is bad.
On a full failure on this check, what happens is, as you pull out your gun, it's not like he reacts to you like he's trying to smash you or anything like that. He simply does what the thing is meant to do. Lift things with you on it. As he takes the entire smashed crate that you're on top of, and with the loader lifts it and throws it behind him. He almost like lifts it straight up in the air and then chucks it backwards over his back with you on it. You are just barely able to land without the crates, this giant metal crate landing on top of you, which, looking at it, would have killed you. You land before it, and then it crashes further into the facility, spinning and crashing into some other boxes. You, although, did just get launched through the air, crash to the ground without any padding, and then roll along the ground, taking significant damage. That's 4 pilot damage.
Jeez. That's not great. So for those at home keeping count, I'm at 4 out of 12 right now.
Astro, at this point, you hear a wall collapse deeper in the building. That is how loud it is. You see, like dust rising up from another area of the facility, like something has collapsed, and hear this loud din, and you hear something like metal crashing and crunching against the ground.
Sounds like something bad. He's gonna start rushing over to where the havoc is happening, and he's taking out his shotgun.
All right,
at the ready.
You'll get there next round.
All right,
Evelene, you have landed in a bad way. The loader turns around slowly on you, and you see his head track over to where you lie on the ground. What do?
I'm thinking.
The wall behind him has collapsed, by the way. With him smashing it against the wall, it like embedded itself in the wall. And then when he lifted it up to throw it behind him, he damaged the wall enough that there's now a huge hole in the concrete wall that leads to the rest of the facility.
So, like, is this the wall between the secure area and everything else?
Yes, but it is behind him.
Right,
he threw you behind him, so right now you're looking at a giant machine that wants to kill you with a giant hole behind him.
And he has his eyes on me?
Yeah, he's looking right at you.
Okay. I think that's the first problem I need solving. Is there any this is wishful thinking, but we've established that safety regulations are not a priority around here apparently. Is there anything that would be like a gas, like a fire hydrant, or anything that could serve as a distraction with gadgets?
There is absolutely a fire hydrant in here. Not a fire hydrant, God. A fire extinguisher is the word we're looking for. Yes. Yeah. There are fire extinguishers on the wall. This has that level of disaster prevention.
Okay, good. I feel a little safer now. That was me realizing halfway through the sentence that I could use distraction with gadgets here. I'd like to try to hide behind a crate or something, but use a distraction by shooting at a fire extinguisher. Or
okay. You cover. Run in that general direction and then aim to the side and try to shoot it to see if you can create some space. This is going to be just a straight pilot check, not dangerous, this one.
Oh, good. Okay.
This is to determine if you can reposition or not.
Can I use distraction with gadgets for this? Or is this...
Yeah, 100%. That's what this is.
All right. Give me at least above a 10 for once. Another 6.
So, Evelene, it's very disappointing, but what happens is it's not as spectacular as you had hoped it was. You do shoot it, but it just makes a hole in the side that sprays out kind of in a jet in one direction. And you're like, fuck, as you just keep running to try and get behind some stuff. But he starts running at you, and as the heavy feet of this thing start charging at you. What do? This is going to be the dangerous check, whatever it is. You did not successfully reposition.
I know. I'm just trying to think what I can do at this point. I mean, it's more... And bear with me as I'm talking my thought process out loud.
Please do.
So I'm trying to get myself some distance away from this guy. I already tried distracting him. I can't do that a second time. I can scuttle around the crate, but then he's just gonna ram the crate like last time.
You have get somewhere quickly by any chance?
I do not. Just as a heads up, most of my things are mechanical. Most of my skill triggers are mechanical or fixing in nature, and stay cool. And word on the street. I don't think word on the street will apply here. I think what I'd like to do is scramble behind something, and this is assuming this is even possible. Scramble behind something that he's not going to be as easily able to ram. So, like for example, like if there's a doorway, I can hide behind the door, and then the wall might be a little more reinforced than a basic crate.
Yeah, you can get behind maybe one of the machines in here that is actually like bolted into the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
This requires speed. So I'm going to try to do a stay cool also because I need to win.
If you were trying to do something more precision, I would say stay cool, but you've invoked stay cool enough that I think now this is more about raw speed and not quickly doing a thing. You need to either outrun this or outmaneuver this. It's not so much about like, I'm going to say no on this repeat.
That's fair. And my goal right now is to outmaneuver him because with my sprained leg, I don't think speed is going to be an option here unless I can find like a cart or something. Which maybe I can think about next time. But for now, just gonna get behind a machine, basic flat D20, I think. And here we go. It's 12. Yay.
Okay. That is still a dangerous check, so that is a success, but with consequences.
This is not a total failure.
You are able to run around the side of the machine, and that is like bolted in the ground. It's heavier than that loader is. It doesn't try to smash through the machine, but you look around and you realize, okay, I did get away from it for a moment, but there are no outs. You've backed yourself into a corner. And it just slowly walks around the machine as you watch its gigantic shape kind of like walk around the corner, and you see his head turn and look at you. That was the downside. The downside is there's not another way out from where you've cornered yourself. You did get away and didn't get attacked, but you've backed yourself into a bad position. Astro, how fast are you moving?
I'm sprinting.
You get to the destroyed wall, and there's smoke everywhere. You can see where, like, okay, this is where a segment would have had to go through. Like, this used to be like where you would have had to go past with another segment to get into this deeper area. And you see all the machines that Evelene did through a hole in the concrete wall. And you hear crunching and smashing noises and the sounds of heavy machinery of almost like a small mech like trotting upon the ground. And as you like move along the side to like get eyes on what's happening in there, over the rubble, you don't see Evelene because she's now run to the other end of the room, but you see the back of a loader mech that is absolutely trashing the place just beyond the wall.
Okay. I will. Let me think. What's a couple things I can try to do? Dyne says in chat, "Walk away. Have a nice day."
Like, not my problem.
Yeah. Not dealing with that.
I will point out that his attention is 100% on me, so you could take advantage of his distraction.
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm just wondering.
You could also hack him.
If it makes sense to shoot him, if it's like mostly a machine.
You haven't gotten close enough to it yet to clearly make out what it is.
Yeah.
From this distance, you see it is a loader mech, like a very simplified machine that works in factories and the like. You've probably seen them in movies before or other media. Like, they are just things that are meant, you're supposed to climb in them, and they're stronger than people, so they can lift and move things. They're like futuristic forklifts, basically.
Yeah.
Astro probably worked with a decommissioned model, like on one of his sets.
Yeah, in fact, when you were training to be a mech driver in the first place, this is probably what they start people on. This is like the training car.
Right. Yeah, that's very true. All right. Do I think I could get close enough and shoot at a part of it that might disable it?
You could try. What you're asking for is very precise.
Yes, indeed.
I will say you can attempt to shoot at a part that will disable it. You don't know how that will work out, but a success will still be good for you.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just think.
You can make that your intent, but we'll determine what happens when we see what you do.
Happens. Yeah. Yep. So that's what he's going to try to do. Let me just read something here. Okay, I'm going to make an argument that not even I am fully on board with, but let's just, for argument's sake, I have take control, use force, violence, presence of will, or direct action to take control of something. This is often concrete, like an object is holding. You could take control of someone's gun or key card. You could additionally take control of a situation of forces present to listen, calm down, stop moving, stop what they're doing, though you can't necessarily force them to do anything without further threatening them. Taking control is never subtle. So the argument here is maybe I am trying to take control of the situation and the movement of the mech by disabling it.
I like where you're going, but the way I'm seeing it is if you use take control, the thing you're taking control of is the attention of the mech.
I'm also okay with that.
I'm fine with that.
I do think Astro is smart enough to put two and two together and think that this mech is probably, given the destruction, is probably after Evelene. Yeah, I would try to distract the mech by trying to fire on what I think are one of its weak spots. I feel like if I can show that I'm a threat to it, it might stop it in its tracks in what it's currently doing.
Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and roll that up then. I'm on board. This is not dangerous. This is just a straight pilot check.
All right. 16.
Astro, you run in. You're just barely able to get a closer look at it as you pull up to it. And there's something about the back of it that is facing you that you're like, there's something almost like fleshy or something about the back of this object that doesn't make as much sense to you. Like, usually the spine on these things is just a solid back, Mm-hmm. You run up, you're able to see, like, it does have the same kind of legs you're used to in one of these loaders, and you take a shot at the back of one of its legs to see about, disabling its movement a little bit.
Right.
You get a good shot. You take aim. It doesn't know you're there, so it's not ready to, like, take you into account. And you see that it's pivoting on one leg. You're like, that leg's not going to move for a moment. And you shoot at it. And as it's readjusting its weight to like turn on Evelene, which you don't know that's what it's doing, but it's basically turning to look at Evelene. You shoot its leg that it's pivoting its weight on at the moment. You don't think you've done any permanent damage to the device, but you do knock it over for a second. It loses balance, and you watch the machine fall forward slightly and catch itself on its arms. You bought yourself maybe just a few moments, but that could be critical.
Okay.
All right, Evelene, You hear a shotgun go off and watch as one of the legs kicks out from underneath the machine and it falls over. What do you do?
I don't know this is Astro yet, right?
Not yet. Nope.
But I can't back away because you said I'm basically in a corner.
You're backed into a corner. You'll either have to go through, around, over. Like, just running away from this is not enough.
Fair. I'm just considering my options here. So I have to. So the one leg is down, right?
It is unbalanced for the moment. Its leg isn't broken. You don't think that it's like shot off the leg or anything like that. It's far stronger than that. But you can tell that it has lost its balance, and you have a moment to act without being under direct threat, unless what you're doing is very dangerous.
I think everything I do is going to be dangerous because I can't run away. I can't circle. I can't just keep circling around this machine.
You just can't back up because it's unbalanced. You could try to run around it now, basically running over it or running directly around it. It will pull you uncomfortably close to it.
Could I run underneath it?
It's on the ground. It fell over. Underneath of it is where its pincers are right now.
Right.
It fell forward.
Yeah, so like you could kind of like run jumping over it or just run around it. But
I'm going to run around it.
Now's the time because
I think I'm going to run around it.
All right. Because it was unbalanced, this will just be a flat pilot check. No dangerous on this one.
All right. Just roll d20. I'm due for some good rolls, I would hope.
Okay, that's what I thought would happen.
It's a 1. It's a 1. I'm out.
You said I'm due for some good rolls.
Say that.
Yeah,
I know. I
if you say I'm due for some good rolls, you get a 1.
I don't feel bad for you.
Yeah, like you were asking for that.
I really was.
You could push it, right?
Yes,
to make
you could
dangerous.
push it. This is a thing only Astro ever does.
Yeah,
I will push it.
What happens is it becomes a dangerous check, but you get to roll again.
So even if you succeed, unless you roll 20, there's going to be some consequences.
Well, the way I see it is with the 1, I'm going to suffer some consequence anyway.
Do we do critical fails or do we just?
No, there's no critical fails in this.
It's not a critical fail, but I mean,
yeah.
I assume there's some consequence for not running, right?
I mean,
yeah, but it's not dangerous consequences.
Oh, that's true. I am only at 4 health. You know what? I'm not going to risk what little health I have left. I'll just say I got up the run and then my bad leg just kind of made me fall over.
And in that amount of slowness you had, you see as it pushes itself up on its arms and it reaches out with one of its pincers and grabs you by the leg.
Okay. Is it the good leg or the bad leg?
It is your uninjured leg.
Oh, good.
Oh, things are looking up.
Literally,
Astro,
she's lifting
you
me
watch
up.
this thing fall over, you watch Evelene dart out from behind it, but trips on her injured leg, and as she stumbles over, she has her gun in hand. She looks incredibly beat up. She's battered and bruised. As she trips, you watch this thing that's in the middle of standing up kind of heft itself up on one arm, so it's still not fully standing up, but it's shifted its balance onto just one arm to support it, and with its other pincer has reached out and grabbed Evelene by her other leg. What do you do?
Can I shoot at the joint of the arm that's reaching out to grab her leg?
Trying for a little trick shot here.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that if it drops me, I'm going to fall on the ground and get hurt more.
You aren't lifted up. You're on the ground and it's grabbed your leg.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So you're quote unquote, you're grappled, right? You can't move. And if you remain caught by it, when the next thing comes around, who knows what it'll do?
Who knows?
Yeah. So I want to like shoot that joint, maybe break that arm. But I also would be happy with, again, diverting its attention to me.
Okay. What you will note as you've gotten closer to the situation, you now have a sense of what's happening here. You can tell, not from this angle, you don't know that it is Zippo in there because it's like turned away from you, but you can tell it is a segmented person who is loaded into the loader. You can tell because the spine that's sticking up out of the back of the loading device is the same as the spines that you've seen on the segmentation tethers.
Yeah.
It looks like when someone loads into this, the segmentation tether actually like fuses to this object a little bit. So you see that behind. You can tell that it's Evelene there who's been battling this thing. You can kind of see what's been happening. I mean, you could probably even with a leap of logic assume that maybe this is Zippo. You just haven't seen him yet.
Yeah. It's kind of, I think it's kind of what he thinks is most likely because he hasn't seen anyone else in this factory so far. Okay. Okay, I guess I'll just roll a basic d20. Like this is kind of just an assault.
Yeah, this is just an assault without assault.
Yeah. 15.
With a 15, you take aim at the joint in the mech that is holding Chimera. You fire, and you hear a loud hissing noise as you watch a tube that's going up and down the arm of it, like fly open, and this some sort of like liquid is like off. It's a liquid that's off-gassing. It's a liquid inside the tube, but as the tube disconnects, you see this liquid spraying into the air and turning into like a smoke or a gas as it kind of evaporates away. And this tube is like flying back and forth, like it just has all this pressure built up in it. And Evelene, you feel the pressure on your leg slacken.
Can I get away?
Yeah, it can't hold you.
All right.
You're able to kick your foot, and the claw is still intact. It's just loose now. It can't apply pressure.
Right. Okay, then I'm going to scramble toward... I assume I see Astro at this point.
You see Astro at this point. You watched him fire a gun at the arm.
Right. I'm going to scramble toward Astro.
And then, the two of you watch as this thing, like, pushes itself up, rises up. Its arm still seems to be moving, but you see that as that one pincer, like, as that arm moves around, the pincer at the end of it just seems to be going, like, open and close without any input, like it's limp. Like, as it turns one way, it's like gravity opens the pincer, and as it turns the other way, the gravity closes the pincer. You don't think that pincer is being controlled anymore. But its arm is still moving. You broke the hydraulic hose for the pinch, basically.
Perfect. Nice.
But it turns on you, and now, Astro, you see the completely blank-faced Zippo that is just looking at you like a machine.
Okay.
Hey, that's Zippo, by the way.
Yeah, looks like it.
It pulls its arms down to its side and charges the two of you. What do you do?
I will. I'm going to push Evelene out of the way. And then I will shoot at it again, aiming for Zippo's head.
Well, how Evelene just kind of limps over to Astro, and Astro's like, get out of the way.
I was thinking the same thing. Thank you.
Astro, I'm going to be very honest with you here.
That's super dangerous.
What you are describing is in two different ways a heroic role.
Okay.
One, because it's heroic. Two,
it is very
because
heroic.
it's a heroic level of difficulty you've given yourself. Because what you want to do is stand in the way of a charging bull while standing still and trying to shoot it in the head.
Yes, that's right. What are heroic rules again? Like what's
that means you need a 20 or up.
20
to do anything
or consequences.
Yeah.
So I can do. Well, Oh man, I'd love to do this even with it being heroic, but if I don't have a good skill trigger,
I will give you accuracy because this is like a scene from a movie, and you're
really
a celebrity.
Yeah.
Actually, would it have some difficulty running toward you because of its injured leg?
Its leg wasn't really injured; it was just knocked off balance by that shot.
Okay.
Can I use take control for this?
I would say you're using force, violence, and presence of will right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can hacker fix?
Yeah, hacker fix with a
totally
shotgun.
wreck a system. That's sort of what I'm trying to do. All right, so let's just roll with.
You know what? I'm going to actually let me just make it a dangerous roll.
Okay.
Knowing that if you fail this, you could push it to a heroic, but what I will say is it is a dangerous roll. And the mid-level, the success with a cost, is a very big cost, and a total failure is even worse.
Okay. Alrighty.
Ooh.
Let's do it.
Good luck,
How do
man.
So we just made a new category. Very dangerous roll.
Yes, this is a very dangerous. This is a
dangerous,
almost heroic roll.
Yeah. Is there a way I can just roll without selecting a skill trigger? Because I want to select the accuracy.
It should give you a pop-up to do the accuracy when you select the skill trigger.
Yeah, but I'm not doing a skill trigger is what I'm saying.
Aren't you doing take control?
Oh, I can do take control? Okay.
Yep, I'm letting you do it.
Awesome. Okay, here we go. 22.
That's a full success.
Look at that. There's no doubt in my mind.
That's very heroic.
I wasn't scared.
You throw Evelene to one side, getting her out of the way. Pull up your shotgun. You watch as this thing lowers its shoulders like a linebacker getting ready to charge you. It pulls its two long mechanical arms out to either side, like it's trying to widen its grasp so that you can't dodge to either side, right? It's trying to sweep you up with it. It charges towards you. You plant your feet. You let out a breath. You pull up your shotgun. And you aim directly at where Zippo's head is inside the loader. And as you exhale, you pull the trigger. And Evelene, from your perspective, you watch as this giant mech flies towards Astro as you're falling back away from the scene. And you watch Astro fire. And you hear something happen. But then the mechanical monstrosity flies past you faster than you can reckon with it. And it takes you a moment to realize what you've seen. And when you look back up, you see that Astro is still standing exactly where he was. And the mech has rolled end over end, falling just past him on its side. And you see a completely decapitated Zippo in the harness of the mech.
Damn. Not gonna lie, I really wanted you to finish that with Evelene take 1 pilot damage.
That's what I wrote in chat. I still take pilot damage.
I mean, Astro, I did push you out of the way onto the floor.
Astro, as this thing barreled towards you, and you took the shot, you watch as the force of it hitting Zippo knocked its shoulders up and back, and it started falling before it got to you, but you were able to move just a little bit to get under its arm as it basically collapsed. It's like it ran at you and then fell past you like a falling tree.
Yeah.
And it just collapses 2 feet behind you with dead Zippo inside of it.
I like to get up and walk over to the corpse.
Astro stays frozen in place for a little bit, like he's holding his breath. Then he lets out a long breath, and he's like, "Oh shit! I can't believe I just did that."
When I get to the corpse, I'm gonna pull out my gun and shoot it. Do I need to make a roll, or can it just happen?
It just happens. And that's the scene we're going to end on.
No. I got a one-liner here. Let me say it, please.
Okay.
After I shoot the corpse, I turn around and say, like, I can shoot stuff too.
And as we zoom back away from this scene with Astro having heroically saved Chimera, we are going to close today's session. And next time we come back, we will find out what Dyne and Steve are able to find in the depths of the admin building. And we'll see what Astro and Evelene do now that they're out of danger. And we thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Evelene, take 2 pilot damage.
I can't take it anymore.
When you shoot at the body, the bullet ricochets and a piece of metal flings into your face.
Oh my God.